No, I think she is.
Yeah, she's hurt. She took a hard fall off there.
Okay.
Gosh, I hope she's okay.
I can't do it. Okay. We'll do it live.
Okay.
We'll do it live. It. Do it live. I'll write it and we'll do it live. Thing sucks.
Yeah, it does suck. Welcome in. Right on time for another edition. Kiddos of the Daily Puck Drop. It's Friday, January 30th. We are finally here. Jim and I, we coordinated on our hats as well. I apologize for being 10 minutes late. My God. And it was before you say anyone says it's Jim's fault, not Jim's fault, my fault. Technical difficulties from the PuckSports studios.
It's understandable, Puck. Everybody understands.
No, it's not. I hate
Everybody goes through this stuff. Come on.
Is there something going on today? All morning long, my computer, everything has been slow. Emails aren't going through. Things aren't uploading. Everybody knows on Friday I tape with Condotta. So we tape the last word with Condotta. We do it at 9 o'clock. It's an hour ago. But something, then it just wouldn't upload. It does that little circle. I hate that circle. That circle. If you have a MacBook, does even people knows what I'm talking about? There's this little circle that goes round and round. I hate the circle. I want to kill the circle.
Anytime you're streaming something, it takes a while, and then you get the circle. I hate that. I hate the QR codes. I hate all of it.
Do you know what QR stands for?
Quad right. I don't know.
It was we had a trivia contest or a trivia night at the Ballard Elks this past Saturday. Shout out to you want to be a Ballard Elks member. We're accepting new members all the time.
Good drinks there.
Price is going up though. I'll tell you that. Jesus, mother.
Yeah, but don't they pour a good drink there?
Yeah, but it used to be like real cheap, and now we're getting to like downtown Ballard prices. I'm like, stop it. Anyways, it was a trivia night fun. I'm talking about the membership cost. Like the membership costs keep coming up every year. Like,
how much is it?
I think it's like $230 now. It used to be $100.
Oh no!
Well, it's a lot of money. It just come on. Can we bring it down a little bit? Can I go back to when it was $2.25 for a drink or $2.50, whatever it was? Now it's like $6. I don't like it. It's adding all up. By the way, you can be a Puck's Posse member for just $5
That's what
a
I'm
month.
thinking. How many Puck's Posse members do you have?
That's all it costs you, just $5 a month. You support all the free shows we do here. Plus, we give you bonus shows every week, and occasionally we are 10 minutes late to the show. Anyways, we did a trivia night to raise money for the Whitman Middle School. For Whitman Middle School. It's where my kids went, where my son goes now, where my daughter went. Anyways. So one of the trivia questions was, what does QR stand for? I had no idea. What did you say?
Quad right.
You would think it would be some big, something
quality.
Like that. Right. Quick response.
Is that what it is?
Quick response. Yeah.
No way.
That's what it is. QR stands
because
for.
I never in my mind when I'm trying to get my camera focused in on that fucking thing, where I'm thinking, hey, I bet QR stands for quick response.
Quick response.
Like
that's what it is.
TR, delayed response.
Fuck off response.
I hate those things with a passion.
You don't like the QR codes.
Oh,
yeah.
God, I hate them. In fact, my kid just sent me one because Snoop Dogg, he's everywhere. He's got a casino now. And so my kid wanted me to sign up for it so he could get some sort of bonus if I refer him.
Yeah.
And Snoop Dogg had a QR code.
Okay. All right. Yeah. I hopefully it's streaming okay. I don't know. It's just there's been a lot of issues today. So if there are issues with the stream today, whether it's the video and audio, we apologize. I don't know what's going on. Could be our house, could be our internet. No clue. Dude, it's all just cattywampus today. Fine. At least it's today and not next week. All right. No Egan today. People are wondering where Egan's not here today. In fact, he is in a plane as we speak, flying to Italy, there for the Winter Olympics. All right? All right. Well, 15 minutes late. Let's get to the show. It's brought to you by the one and only Limback Lumber, Jimbo. Limback Lumber, they're going to take care of you all your lumber needs. Give them a call. They are the best in the business, 206-782-3480. 87. Visit me on all the social media platforms, PuckSports everywhere. PuckSports.com is the website. You can sign up there, be a Pucks Posse member. And Jim is with us 3 days a week. And on Fridays, he's brought to you by...
Yeah, thanks to Brad Brotherton, Brotherton Cadillac and Shoreline, Brotherton Cadillac and Buick GMC in Renton. They emphasize a no-pressure, stress-free environment. And that's what we love. When we go to a car dealer, we hate that with the pushy people. You won't get that with Brad Brotherton. You'll also get a wide selection of personalized financing and leasing plans that will meet the needs of your family. Every family out there, you're going to really enjoy it there. Get one of the vanilla lattes if you have to wait in the waiting room, and it's going to be a short wait. So just check it out there in Renton or Shoreline, BrothertonAuto.com. The Angry Beaver has everything you want. They've got cocktails. They've got beer on tap. They've got games on their screens, gluten-free menu, happy hour. They've got it all at the Angry Beaver in Greenwood. Plus, make sure you take advantage of this when you go to the Angry Beaver. Say, I want to see Matt Baker. I want to tell him go Cougs. And I want my free shot of Jägermeister, because Jim always talks about that. And Matt will pour one for you. I promise you.
He'll always give you a free one.
He'll always give you a free one. That's right. He will. And I want to thank a Clean Streak, too. Brian Turner at the Clean Streak, roof cleaning, gutter cleaning, pressure washing. Brian and his crew will do it all for you. Just check it out. Free estimate. Call 360-395-5748 or visit acleanstreak.com. We love Brian Turner and his support here at PuckSports.com.
You don't love this story like I don't love this story. And it reminded me when I was going through and I saw this post that you put out there, or whatever, one of the last ones on social media about what the city of Issaquah is doing. Now, you used to be a proud member of the Issaquah community, correct?
Yes. My kids went to high school at Issaquah High School. It used to be the Indians, and now they're, I forget what they're called. But we're going politically correct in Issaquah, okay?
What are they now?
God, I forget. Why am I drawing
Vikings?
a blank on what the hell
Vikings?
Issaquah is? Eagles?
Vikings? Eagles? Eagles.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, I don't know.
They were always the Indians to me. I'm sorry, Puck. I'm sorry. I'm one of those guys who thinks it was okay for them to be the Issaquah Indians, which makes me
it doesn't make you old anything.
And out of touch.
No, it doesn't. I'm just waiting for you to go back in your closet, get your headdress on, and put it on. It's just going.
Don't you hate that? Florida State's still doing that. In Kansas City,
again, I'm gonna sound like we're gonna get canceled. I'm gonna be like, I don't. I mean, I like it.
Well, no, do you?
Yeah, it's the soundtrack of the game. I get a kick out of it. I don't know. Maybe I'm a bad person.
Well, no baby about it. You are.
I don't think that's fair to say that. So, the city of Issaquah is changing their name for this week, and I don't even know how to 12Ska? How do you even say it?
12Sequah.
12Sequah. I can't even say it.
Yeah, Mark Mullet or whatever the hell our mayor's name is.
Well,
Matt Mullet.
His name is Mark. Now, you should remember Mark Mullet.
Wasn't he an idiot for something else?
For what?
I forget, Puck. Help me.
Mark Mullet.
You had him on the air.
Mark Mullet
had him on the air.
Was at the time the Democratic chair of the Budget Finance Committee for the state of beautiful Washington. And Mark Mullet, the idiot mayor who's like, we're going to name it 12Sequah, is the guy who decided to steal millions and millions and millions of dollars from kids. And the late, great Paul Allen, when the bond expired on the new stadium, said all the money left over goes back to the community and specifically goes back to kids and to build new ball fields across the community. And what did Mark Mullet do? The mayor of Issaquah? Well, he's dead now, so he won't remember. I'm just going to take the money and approve it and let all these rich owners across our state get money for their new stadiums, like John Stanton, the guy that's a part of the Rockies, a guy that's part of the Angels, so they could build all new stadiums. That's Mark Mullet. So you already know the idea is bad because that putz is in charge of it.
I had forgotten about that, but I do give him his due a little bit because at least he came on your show.
Well, because I don't think he realized what it was going to be.
But you didn't torpedo him too bad, if I remember right. I mean, you torpedoed him, but you were, yeah.
He was clueless. God, I wish I'd still had access to that interview. You talk about someone that came on thinking he was this hot shot, like really smart politician. I'm talking to some two dope sports guys who have no idea about anything.
Well, he's pretty close on that.
Yeah, for you, not for me. I had facts.
No, I saw that story today in the Times, and it was the most read sports story. So, and I know that if we're Seahawks fans and we don't want to be critical of 12s and all that.
Dumb.
I get it, and if the town started with a T, if it was a twa sound,
you can't even
like that,
say it right. 12Issaquah. I can't even say it.
Well, and he's so proud of himself.
Oh, he's just like
in the story.
Oh, he's just, and I believed in this team all year long, so, hey, hell, he said he bought Super Bowl tickets back on the game where the Seahawks beat the Rams on Thursday night. He said he bought the tickets then when they were $7,000. So he must have took some of that money that was earmarked for the kids. Remember that all that millions of dollars that were earmarked for the kids so we could have all these brand new fields. So we didn't get our games for like softball and baseball rained out. Mark probably just took some of that money and paid for his tickets. Don't you think? I think. In fact, I'm probably reporting that right now. He did that.
Okay, but do you think there's a chance that we're way off base on this one?
Here's
maybe
why
we should get on board with it, and that if you're a Seahawk fan, maybe they could chime in the chat room or whatever it is.
If you live in Issaquah, are you excited that your town has been recalled for next week? 12Issaquah. Huh?
Why don't you keep trying to say that and see if you
I
can,
can't
you
say.
can
Am I
nail
not
it.
saying it right? 12Issaquah.
12Issaquah. Yeah.
That's what I just said. 12Issaquah.
Yeah. And that he just sat there one night with his wife and kids and said, "Hey, honey, I'm thinking about this idea. What do you think? A lot of Seahawk fans here, and they're going to the Super Bowl. I think it's going to take off and be a big thing."
Great.
And he might be right. Maybe if you're 12, you think this is great, and you wish that your hometown had been 12Renton or 12Tukwila. How about Tukwila? That'd be 12Sequila.
I can't even say it. There's nothing wrong. Nothing works.
12 Federal Way.
12's homish. I don't know what works. I don't know. Here's why it's a bad idea for people that live in Issaquah, and it's bad for Mark Mullet. And if they lose, there is going to be one person in one city to blame if they lose, and that is Issaquah if they lose. You want to know why? Because this is the second time that this city has changed their name to 12Issaquah.
They've done it before? I didn't read the story.
Well,
I didn't read the story.
Welcome to 2025 in our society.
I saw the headline. Why'd you read this? Well, you read the story for the purpose of leading your show with it.
Yeah, of course I read the story.
I was so put off by it that I thought, okay, I'm going to look at the headline, but it's so stupid. I'm not going to waste my time to read it.
Yeah, see, people chiming in. Doug says, don't live in Issaquah. My mom does, and it's stupid. Yeah, that's right, Doug. It is stupid. Matt chimes in. East Side is always was and will be a bunch of MF reposers. Here's why it's a bad idea, and here's why Mark Mullet, if they happen to lose next week, I don't think anybody believes they're gonna lose. But if they do, I think people of Issaquah who did not want this changed, the people of this state, march down to Mullet's office and drag him out. Because the last time they did this was for the 2015 Super Bowl. What happened
really
in the 2015 game, Mark Mullet? You kid stealing moron. What happened? Who did they play? And did they win or did they lose, Mark?
They actually did this before?
Yes.
And decided, boy, what a great idea. Let's do it again.
for the last Super Bowl against the Patriots, and they lost. How about don't do it again? Maybe it didn't work the last time.
How about if they lose, you have him on PuckSports.com podcast.
And ask him, did he pay for his tickets to Santa Clara from the money that was earmarked for the kids' fields and not for your wallet, Mark?
Handle the interview the way you did with the Toronto sports writer.
Oh, Ben Nicholson Smith. Oh, I love Ben.
Why don't you?
That really has worked out.
I had a front row seat for that, and I really wasn't a good teammate, but I sure enjoyed the spectacle that was your interview with Ben Nicholson.
Well, I think it really did work out well for Ben Nicholson Smith because Adley Rutschman's career has really taken off.
Yeah.
How did he do last year?
Yeah, not well.
Yeah.
Right. Not well. All right. Well,
12 Issaquah. I can't even say. I can't.
God, I miss
love Issaquah.
I miss Issaquah. I liked living in Issaquah.
It's a great
Issaquah
spot.
was great.
Great.
It really
spot.
was.
It's a great spot. So everybody loves Issaquah. All right. So no Egan today. No, it's just Jim and I. Jim and I will have Condotta coming up later because it took an hour and a half to get that thing uploaded. No Troy wins today. Troy will be back on next week as we get ready for the Super Bowl. So 12 Issaquah, stupid idea. Mark Mullet, just whatever Mark Mullet does, run the opposite way. The guy's a thief. All right, he's a criminal thief. God,
he could slap a lawsuit on you for that.
For what? For calling him a criminal thief?
Call him a thief?
He's a
criminal?
thief. He stole money from kids. Hey, wait. Hey, you wait till I do this story. I sit on the Ballard Baseball Little League board. You wait in a couple of weeks when I do the story on how much our city is charging our teams to rent fields now. You wait till I do the story on that one.
How much are they charging?
I just wait.
The fields aren't that great, right? You've talked about that over and over again.
Well, some of them are. Some of them are turf. They're great. Some of them are shitholes. Mud puddles. And the amount of money that they are charging people, it's going to blow your mind. It's going to blow your mind. We had to do this whole meeting this last week, and our budget was based on how much money we got to earmark for these stupid fields.
Wow.
Yeah. Dumb. Just
Little
dumb. All right. Little League, Jim. Little League. God, Little League's approaching. I'm not part of it this year. It's sad. Sad. Yeah, it's real sad. All right.
It is sad.
Everyone's really overconfident, aren't they, leading up to this game? I mean, we still got a whole, what do we got? 8 days, 9 days away? I mean, we still got a lot of time, but people are just bouncing around town, sticking their chests out. A lot of people doing a cock walk. This is going to be an easy game. We're going to roll. Man.
No, when you look at it, all the tangible reasons are there. You look at the Seahawks and what they had to do to get there, the teams they had to beat compared to what New England did. And
totally.
I can see it. All year long, we've been thinking,
what are we missing?
The AFC isn't quite as good as the NFC. I don't know if other fans feel this way, but your top two seeds were Denver and New England.
But what are we missing?
They just seem flimsy. I know that Bronco fans and Patriot fans can go, here's why we're not flimsy or fraudulent. I'll explain this to you, but I still have a hard time buying into them being the top two teams in the AFC this year.
But what are we? This was kind of a big topic yesterday on the very popular, world-renowned KJ Arntz with one Mitchell Reed Levy. It was a big thing with him, and he nerded out on all the stats and numbers and everything.
Yeah. You get that free if you listen to it live. But you can be a Puck's Posse member and listen to it later if you pay Jason $5 so he can afford to go to the Ballard Elks. And
if you don't pay me $5 a month, I can't afford to go down to the Elks and spend $6.50 on a drink.
What a hardship! I don't know if you're tuning in late. It used to be $100 to belong to Ballard Elks
Club,
like
$250.
And now it's $230.
Well,
so become a Puck's Posse member so I can go have stiff cocktails.
Or I can no longer be a member of the Elks and go to trivia night and bingo night.
And your life would be so different. It'd be a hard.
Have you ever been? Next time you're in town, I'm going to take you to this Ballard Elks. It's the best Elks in the world. The view, it's right on the beach, waterfront.
Well, then 230 sounds like a bargain to me for that.
Yeah, and that's the problem, Jim, is they know it. That's why they know it. They're like, hey, for this view of the Olympics here in the water, it ain't free.
All right. So what Mitch say? What was happening with KJ Arndt?
Well, that's his whole shtick this week, and will be next week, right? He's going to lean into it. I'm shtick in a good way. I'm not in a bad way. That it just he can't find anything that makes him nervous about the game, and I agree with him. Like, what is it? What is it about the game that you look at them and go, what concerns you? We do that with the Rams. We do that with even the Niners. But I think all of us sit here and watch that team, look at their stats, look at their schedule, and go, what is it about them? And I gave him one thing. Well, besides the obvious, hey, someone can get hurt, right, in the first quarter. You know,
what'd you give him? Mobile quarterback?
That was my only thing. That was my only thing. I said the only thing that would worry me a little bit is that guy can run. He's their third leading rusher.
The off-script plays. Yeah,
but then there's Nick Eamon. But then Nick Eamon is going to kill that kid. Going to blow him up.
Yeah, it's not like I've been following Patriots football this year, but when you look at their stats and the names on the team, and you're kind of going, well, I mean, you see good, but you don't see great. And typically from a Super Bowl team, you see great more than you see good.
Yeah, I mean, I do think from a defensive standpoint, you know, they've seen a lot of good defenses this year, have Seattle. I think the Gonzalez kid, there's the other kid that's back in the secondary, but Gonzalez is their main one. I do think I think it's Carlton Davis. I had to look it up. Carlton Davis. I do think for the corners, I bet you this is probably the best two corners they faced. So for JSN, you know, we've always been waiting. God, why can't defenses slow this guy down? You know, I think that this will be probably from an individual standpoint, maybe his biggest challenge. If indeed, maybe they say, hey, we're just going to lock up Gonzalez on him. We'll see. Because, I mean, Darnold, you know, like most people, Stafford does this with Nakua. He fixates on where JSN is, as he should. So maybe that is a factor. But, I mean, look at their offense. An offense that hasn't done much in the postseason. Again, against three good defenses. None of them better than the defense they're going to face next week, by the way. Drake May's been awful in the playoffs. I mean, awful. You know how many times
you could factor weather into some of that.
Well, in the last one, what about the first two?
Oh, it was awful in Boston for the Houston game.
Well, what about the first game?
I mean, I'm just saying that you could factor that in a little bit if you want.
Okay.
Because I don't think Darnold would have been top notch playing in Denver last week.
15 sacks in 3 games.
Right.
For him. He's completing like 55% of his passes in those 3 games. And I mean, just look, I mean, Maye, Ramondre Stevenson, Stephon Diggs, Booty, Matt Hollins, and the stupid Warrior thing that he's doing. Jack Westover is their fullback. You remember Jack Westover?
I remember Jack Westover.
Yeah, little Jack Westover is their fullback. He doesn't concern you, nor should he. No one should.
It's almost, and then we talked about the Rams game being the actual Super Bowl, but you know, this can backfire on you. And we've seen the Seahawks have some bad games or bad starts and then get it going in the second half. Now we haven't seen that in the playoffs. So, I mean, they just seem to be a team on the rise, whereas New England is still very good, but we haven't seen that uptick like we've seen in the Seahawks. And the only team really that has Tampa Bay got to them, but the Rams are the only team that the defense has struggled against.
I could see New England's defense probably giving Seattle's offense some problems, or at least kind of muddying up the waters a little bit. I really don't see how New England's offense is moving the ball. I don't see it at all. Like nothing. I mean, they're averaging 18 points in the 3 playoff games.
Yeah, from a gambling perspective, if you're looking for concerns, and I'm with you, I'd have a hard time taking New England in the points, but there's a stat out there where the last 14 times that a team has been a 4.5 point underdog or higher, that they're 12-2 against the spread. So there's something.
I don't like to hear that.
Yeah. And that doesn't necessarily mean they won the game. Maybe they lost by 4 or 3 or 2 or 1 or whatever. But still, I think it's a motivating factor for that team that people are going,
for sure.
Yeah, New England's pretty good and they deserve to be there, but boy, they don't stand a chance against Seattle. Look what
for
Seattle's
sure.
Done.
And you know Vrabel, right? He's kind of has that underdog feel to him. He's going to lean into that whole culture of that East Coast Boston tough guy. They're going to all lean into it, being the underdog. You're right.
And then, Puck, I always talk about this and you always kind of poo-poo it and go, yeah, right. But whenever it looks too obvious to go one way on a game, which in this case it does, I mean, you should be looking at Seattle going, God, the Seahawks, they only have to lay 4.5. That's not even 6. That's not even 7. It's certainly not 10. I mean, you could make a case for laying 10 with the Seahawks in this game. And so you're thinking, well, that's easy money. No, it's not. It's not going to be easy money.
I'm going to ask you a question. Do you recall who you bet on? Do you remember I think it's the 98 Super Bowl. Do you recall? Remember, it's the 49ers, Steve Young against the Chargers.
Oh, that was the game when the Chargers were getting 18.5.
I was going to ask you, which way did you bet? Do you remember?
Oh, I vaguely remember. I'm sure I took the Chargers, though, because there's no way I would have laid 18.5. Can you imagine in today's NFL, a Super Bowl ever getting, I don't even think a Super Bowl, 14 maybe? Rams and Patriots once upon a time during the greatest show on Turf Day. Well, San Francisco covered, though, didn't they? Against the Chargers that year.
What was the final score?
I think I saw it the other day, 49-26.
Yeah. So, I mean, but think about, I just saw it on social media. I was, scrolling through and saw it. And I cannot believe that Super Bowl was 18.5. That is just remarkable.
Yeah.
Large of a spread.
No, you just generally don't see double-digit spreads in the Super Bowl anymore. But, I mean, there's a reason that line is 4.5.
It stayed there.
It's hard to see why you would want the Patriots and just 4.5 points in this game.
Yeah, it's just been staying there, too. It's 4.5. It's been steady Eddie. 4.5.
It opened at 3.5. I think it went to 5.5, and then it settled in right at 4.5 the last 4 or 5 days.
But it settled, didn't it? It settled pretty quickly.
Yeah.
I know, and it's just kind of been holding it. I mean, to me, it's obvious to take Seattle -4.5. But I think that's obviously
why you
what they
shouldn't
want.
do it. That's why you shouldn't do it.
That's why I'm gonna do it. It's too obvious. I'm taking it.
How much you gonna put on it?
Huh?
How much you putting on it?
Depends on how many people sign up to become a Puck's Posse member here in the next hour. If you sign up now, we'll give you a special discount. The next 100 people that sign up, you'll get I don't know.
Hey, Troy Wentz paid me. He took the Rams last week.
Yeah, well, he's a Cowboys fan. He always picks against the Seahawks every time, every single time.
Yeah.
Well,
I would be careful if you're going to gamble on this game, and I would.
So you think it's going to be?
I can
close
see
then.
why you'd be overconfident, but I just. Yeah, I think it's going to be.
You think it's a close game,
right down to the wire game, and it won't make sense because you'd be going into it thinking,
why?
There'll be some 3-and-outs. There'll be some drops by Seattle. There'll be a weird penalty. There'll be things that'll happen in this game. It's almost guaranteed to be close at halftime.
Okay, then tell me why.
Well, I don't have a good why. I know I'm supposed to be some sort of sports guy on a podcast who has some answers, but
we're all trying to answer.
It's just weird things will happen that you don't foresee happening because the spread is only 4.5.
So weird things happening, like there'll be like a tipped interception.
Oh my God, the Seahawks haven't had a slow start in a while, and what's going on today? They haven't scored. It's midway through the second quarter, and New England's ahead 10-0. And I mean, it'll just be something weird like that.
All right.
Okay, I've never been so sure about something in my life as far as thinking that this shouldn't be so obvious. Don't take Seattle minus 4.5, or if you do, don't bet half of what you think you want to bet on.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. But
you're just basing this all on just the line and nothing else.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah, that's it. Because Vegas knows all. And as soon as you think that they don't know what they're doing, that's when they nail you. And, Monday after the Super Bowl, if Seattle wins by 3 touchdowns, you're like, oh, boy, that was really good, solid analysis you had there, Jim. God, pretty soon you're going to be 69. I got to find a new co-host who knows more than you do. But if I'm right, you can come out and say
puck@pucksports.com is the official email. puck@pucksports.com.
Yeah. And then typically we always talk about, okay, here's something that you can relate to. How often have we said this will be a key to such and such in the game? This key, this key, this key. And then after the game is over, none of that shit happened. I mean, people will be talking all week about Darnold and what to expect of Maye. And I would think that going into this game, it's just like you're saying. You look at Maye, he's going to be a factor on the ground. If New England's going to win this game, if you want to try and sound intelligent, like you know what's going to happen, Drake Maye has to run. He's got to be running. He might be running for his life, but you look at it, you think, okay, that's New England. That's a factor. They have a mobile quarterback. And watch, he'll probably run for 20 yards or something.
Okay. What's his, do you have it? What's his total? What's rushing yards, Drake Maye?
450 rushing yards this season. 4 touchdowns.
Oh, yes. In the Super Bowl.
Oh,
I'm going to look it up. I'm going to look it up.
In the Super Bowl, his over-under?
Yeah, what's his over-under?
I would go over on that.
You know what it is?
No, I don't know what it is.
And we got to find it. I want to find what it is. What is his over-under on rushing yards in the game? Let's see. Here's it's
got to be like 30 or 40.
DraftKings has it over-under at 38.5.
I think you'd have to go over on that.
I'm going to take the under.
Hey, what do you think about Rashid Shaheed at 28-1 for MVP?
Love it. Great one. Great one. Sure. Big return, special teams play. Yeah. Why wouldn't you?
If they try and stop JSN, maybe they'll go to Shaheed a little more often.
Maye had 65 yards in the AFC Championship game, had 66 against the Chargers in the wild card.
But see, if you're a Seahawks fan, you don't want to bet on over with Drake Maye at 38.5 because then your team might lose if he goes over that total.
Yeah, I just don't think, against Houston, the one defense is most comparable, right, to Seattle. He rushed for 10 yards. Did have 3 touchdowns in that game. But, I mean, listen, Stroud is not – Sam Darnold's a hell of a lot better than C.J. Stroud. He had 4 picks in that game.
I think Drake Maye – I think he'd be a kid that we'd all like if he wasn't the opponent this week. Did you see that?
They're a likable team.
You see that tweet? He married his middle school girlfriend. He's been going out with his wife since middle school.
I don't think that's a bad move. That's just me.
What?
That's a bad move.
That's a bad move.
Yeah.
Isn't that nice though?
Yeah, but that screams divorce in about 15 years. This is a guy that's been with the same woman since middle school. He hasn't even branched out. He certainly wasn't branching out in middle school, Jim. This guy is a quarterback who started North Carolina and is like a first-round pick in New England, and he's gone home to the same thing since middle school. Honestly, on
the same podcast.
I think when we break down the quarterbacks,
Mullet a crook.
I think when we break down the quarterbacks,
Drake May's wife called her the same thing.
I think when we go back, remember when you used to have Hugh on and you do
her? She's probably sick of going home to the same thing too.
Guaranteed. That's why that she probably isn't. It's probably a side piece going on here.
Ah, shit. God, I've been with Drake since I've been in 8th grade. There he is. God,
know,
he makes millions though, but God, he
That
sucks
makes it,
in
yeah,
bed.
it's terrible. He's a mouth breather. He goes to bed at 6. I'm up until 2 a.m. looking at Instagram, drinking Sauvignon Blanc.
Goes home to the same thing. Who was your 8th grade girlfriend? You ever think about, gee, what your life would be like if you'd hung out with her the whole time?
In jail.
In jail with Mark Mullet.
In jail with Mark Mullet. I think that when we do the
Mark Mullet probably watching right now. God, these assholes are laughing at me. I'm going to get the last
These
laugh.
plus minuses that quarterbacks get all the time, that's a minus for Drake Maye. Cannot be with the same girl since middle school. Can't do it. Minus. Here.
Even Pro Football Focus ranks 32nd in the league.
The DVOA, can't say it. DVOA ranking for Drake Maye and his wife is 32nd in the league. You're right. Here, I'm going to text you.
Right now, I'm picturing Boston radio stations picking this up and going, look what they're saying about our quarterback in Seattle.
Yeah, because
how low is this? Jesus Christ.
Because the morality standard for sports talk in this country is Boston radio.
I don't know why I'm laughing so hard at that. You're not that funny.
Hugh, hold on.
Going home to the same thing.
Would you give Drake Maye double? I can't spell double. I'm having a hard time today. I've been sick all week. That's my excuse. You've
been sick a lot, man.
The last 2 weeks. I don't know what's going on. But I can't go to WebMD. If I go to WebMD.
Did you get your COVID shot? I mean, you're a sheep, man. Get in there and get another COVID shot.
I'm a lion. If I go to WebMD, I'll end up with brain cancer, so I'm not going to WebMD. Would you give Drake Maye a double minus for having the same girlfriend since middle school? Can you answer immediately, please? What do you think he's going to say? I know what he's going to say. He most certainly is going to give him a double minus for that.
Okay. I think we all know marriages that worked out with high school sweethearts, and we also know ones that didn't.
Yeah.
But aren't they nice when they do work out?
How many do work out? And really, the ones that do work out, are they really happy, or are they just staying on because they're like, I've been here for this long?
Oh, my God. Lori and Doug, who I went to high school with, they got married at 19.
Oh, yeah. Still together?
Yeah. Well, no. Well, no, it's not funny. It's not funny. Doug died last year.
Well, Jesus, man. Maybe you could have you prefaced that.
But I was thinking about Lori and Doug when you were talking about, middle school romance and stuff. No, it was a storybook romance, and they were deeply, madly, crazy in love.
Well, meanwhile, where do you want me to go after that?
Transition out of that?
No, next time can you tell me, hey, I had this beautiful couple that they're no longer together, they passed away.
I didn't anticipate you asking a follow-up question.
All right, I'm anticipating Hugh's answer. Would you give Drake Maye a double minus for having the same girlfriend since middle school? I think it should be a major storyline next week. If you were at Monday's media day, would you ask Drake Maye, hey, did you ever think about getting a new girlfriend since you've been with the same person since middle school?
I would not ask that personally, but I think there could be someone there who might ask.
Could we pay someone to actually, God, could we find someone boots on the ground, have them pay that? Pay them to ask that?
Who could it be?
We got to find somebody. Can't be anybody we know. Got to find somebody off the internet. Yeah, it'd be great. Great.
No, just embrace that story about him. That's cool. Yeah. That's nice. It's wholesome.
Something's wrong with him. Same gal his entire life.
Do you think he has a wandering eye? Do you think he ever wonders, geez, I'm tired of going home to that same thing
Well, I think in a couple of years he's going to be doing a lot of audibling. There's a lot of audibles going to be happening at the Maye household for sure.
Yeah, we'll see. They look like they're crazy for each other.
Not Sam Darnold though. Sam Darnold was wise. Played the field, USC.
What's he doing? Do we know anything about Darnold's girlfriend, or what? Is he married? I don't even know.
Engaged, I believe. Engaged.
Does he have a dog?
He does. I don't know. Those are questions for you. You need to ask if he has a dog or not. I do not know.
But we don't know that much about him, do we?
He's kind of a private guy.
What do we know about him personally? I mean, we know the USC, we know the Jets chapter, Carolina, San Francisco, Minnesota. We know all the professional stuff about him, but
he doesn't give you much. He doesn't give you much in these interviews.
It's not like he's reticent to do that, though. I mean, I think if he was asked those questions,
I think the most. Well, he doesn't do a lot of interviews. Has he done like local radio? I haven't heard him do any local radio. I mean, obviously he would have done local radio if you and I were still there, but not with the clown shows that are there now.
He comes across.
Joking. It's a joke. Have you ever listened to his interview or his podcast he did with Marshawn Lynch? I think Lynch and Michael Robinson. He's pretty good in that.
No. Well, he comes across as likable.
Yeah, real likable.
Yeah.
I think he's remember his press conference? I just saw a picture of his press conference. When he was introduced, he was wearing like a flannel. I just think he's a regular guy that heads down, Saturday mornings. I'm going to go pick up some nails from Home Depot. I'll be back in a little bit. I just think he's a average dude.
No, I love people that are successful when it doesn't go to their head, and they're grounded and they're humble, and Sam Darnold seems to encapsulate all of that.
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely, for sure. And he got a lot of credit. I mean, you start thinking I was thinking about this today. Schneider talked yesterday, and Schneider never talks, right? He does like 2 of these a year. It's usually, maybe a couple times. He does
the pre-draft thing.
He does the pre-draft one. Usually he does one before the beginning of the year, and then he really goes silent. I know he does some pregame stuff for the radio there with Steve Rabel, and then that's about it. But he talked yesterday, first time he talked since being named the executive of the year. You just think of what he has accomplished, the whole organization, by the way, but what he's accomplished and everybody that works underneath him. What they've accomplished here in the last few years. You go back, 4 years ago. About 4 years ago, they are 7-10 after the 2021 season, right? Missed the playoffs. A sputter, a ship that's kind of sputtering out of control. Don't really know where they're going to go. Future of it, all that. He backs it up. That's where the rebuild. That's why. This team that's going to be on the field next week, that's where it starts. Go look at the 2022 draft class. First round pick, Charles Cross. Second round pick, Boye Mafe. Second round pick, Ken Walker. Third round pick, Abe Lucas. Fourth round pick, third round pick. Abe Lucas was the second round pick. Kobe Bryant, third round pick. Reek Woolen, fourth round pick. Derek Young. Where was Derek Young taken? Seventh round. I may have got that all. I think I got that all screwed up, by the way. Walker was the second round pick. Lucas third. Bryant fourth. Woolen fifth. I can't read my own handwriting. I'm telling you, I'm a mess today. Young seventh round pick. Jesus. 3-2-1 start over. The 2023 draft class. Witherspoon goes in the first round. So does JSN. Followed by Hall in the second. Charbonnet, I know is not going to play. Second round pick. Anthony Bradford, love him or hate him. He's the starting right guard in your team, fourth round pick. And then look at this year's draft class. I mean, it's prominent for the first 2 guys in it. Zabel and Eamon. Look what he did in 2024, trading for Ernest Jones. The under the radar signings of Josh Jobe is your starting corner now. Jalen Sundell's your starting center. And then this past year, signs Cooper Kupp. We all thought, washed up. This is kind of like the homecoming story. It's been great. DeMarcus Lawrence. Obviously the Sam Darnold's the best signing, but God, a close second is Marcus Lawrence. Right there. And then Eric Saubert.
Leonard Williams, did you mention him?
Well, that was a couple of years ago. Yeah. Eric, yeah. And then trades for Rashid Shaheed. I mean, job this guy has done since after that 21 season. to remake this franchise. And not just him, but everybody that works underneath him, all of his lieutenants. Incredible job. What a turnaround.
Yeah, just so many pivotal moments for Schneider and the Seahawks franchise. That the latest one was Shaheed, getting him with Torrey Horton being injured, and you thought he was going to be coming back, and then he never did. So that was vital to their success. So yeah, it's and he's a guy too that you're so happy for.
Yeah,
because you don't get ego from him.
Mm-mm.
No, you get a guy that if you see him at Dino's, you feel like you could slide up next to him and have a beer with him and have a great time.
Everybody loves Dino's. All right, before you go, hey, congratulations. We'll have more on, of course, the Seahawks and the Super Bowl next week. We'll have our full-on Friday show coming up next week as well. Congratulations to our buddy Greg Witter. You may not know who Greg Witter is, just Jim and I and a few other people out there in the world, but maybe you do. But you know of Coug Fan. He created Coug Fan. But he's also, he got started in journalism, and he was a reporter for a while. Then he went on to, I think, go work for Boeing back in the day. But he is going, we wanted to congratulate him. He's going into the Edward R. Murrow College of Communication. He's going to receive the Hall of Achievement Award at the 50th Murrow Symposium coming up this spring. Begs the question, when are we getting our due?
Well, first off, before I get to that, Greg Witter, you're right. I mean, he's well-deserved, and starting Coug Fan and everything he's done, boy, he's go Cougs all the way. And so I'm really happy for Greg. In fact, I'm going to call him later. I can't find his cell phone, but I don't want to text him. I want to personally call him and say congratulations.
It's weird when you don't put people's names in your cell phone that you can't find their numbers.
Oh, fuck off. Okay. Just, I'm about ready to get to the other question though. Why haven't we been in? What more do we need to do? You and I have been fixtures in the community, always saying go Cougs. Christ almighty, come on. 25 years at the PI, 15 years in sports radio. I bleed crimson. Come on. Nah.
I mean, if we're really reaching down in the depths of the barrel to put Greg Witter in, why are we not in?
Sherry Nebel's in too.
I don't know her. You do?
I know she's a paid subscriber at JimMoore, the for just $5 a month, maybe I could go to the Bend Elks Club. But unless you're a paid subscriber, I'll have to go without the Bend Elks Club.
Is there an Elks Club in Bend?
Probably. I don't know.
Be a member.
No idea. But no, that's a great honor for Greg and Sherry, and to be in the Murrow School Hall of Fame. And you and I are never going to get in there.
I believe one day we will, but it's. I'm telling you, I thought we'd get in before Witter. Not going to lie.
It'll probably be after we die. It'll be like, we'll give him a posthumous or whatever the fuck that word is.
Can't say it. Don't ask me to say it because I can't say
it. We'll give him that award after they croak.
Just like 12 Issaquah. All right. Godspeed to you. Thank you.
I don't think you're doing a show Monday. Authorities are going to come and cuff you for calling.
Well, apparently we can just arrest people for, being in the media now. So I guess
you might get shot even.
Yeah. All right. Have a great weekend. Stay safe. Go listen to some Jelly Roll.
He's lost weight, You think he's on his Epic?
I saw him.
Is he on his Epic?
I would think so.
Probably.
You gonna take another swing at me, or?
No, I'm not gonna take another swing. Right. I love you, Puck.
Love you too. Go Cougs.
Okay, orange jumpsuit the next time we see Jason Puckett. All right, go Cougs.
All right, from jail. There he is, Jim Moore with us Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. Brought to you by just an army of sponsors: Clean Streak, Brothers and Cadillac, and the Angry Beaver. All right, we get to it. We apologize for being late to the start of the show today. Bob Condotta. This is what kind of started it all. My fault. My Bob Condotta interview wasn't loading up properly. We catch up with Bob early in the morning every single Friday. We get the last word with Bob Condotta. We talk a little bit about previewing the game next week, looking back to the championship game, and about the future of Klint Kubiak. The last word of Bob Condotta, all brought to you by Georgetown Brewery.
Drink Georgetown Tavern Beer, your new locally brewed domestic style lager. 4.2% alcohol. Cheap, good, local.
Prepare well, your team is probably going to play well. You're not always going to win, but they're going to play hard, and they're going to go out there and give good performance. You can live
Tony,
with that.
today we're going to talk about our next opponent.
He gets the last word every single Friday. Ladies and gentlemen, Bob Condotta of the Seattle Times. Go read all of his work, seattleTimes.com. Brought to you by Georgetown Brewery, georgetownbeer.com. Follow him on social media at B Condotta. Well, it's just like this week has been kind of this looking back to the championship game, and you're waiting, and everything will gear up. Coming up this weekend, the Seahawks will leave there for Santa Clara and get ready for the Super Bowl next week. All right, Bob, before we maybe look back to the Niners, look ahead to the Patriots, we'll get into Klint Kubiak, their schedule. They got a few more practices here, and then for people that don't know, when do they take off for Santa Clara?
Yeah, they're supposed to be leaving Sunday afternoon sometime. They don't have any events there really until Monday, but Sunday there'll be some sort of you'll probably see film footage of them arriving and stuff like that. There is sort of an arrivals kind of thing that they'll do. But yeah, practicing here. They started practice on Thursday. What they decided to do was have the players have a couple days off Tuesday, Wednesday. Coaches spent time formulating the game plan and going over that. Then they came back on Thursday, and they basically are having like a regular practice week and just holding what are usually their Wednesday, Thursday, Friday practices on Thursday, Friday, Saturday, if that makes sense for this week. And then using Sunday as a travel day. And then on Monday, they will pick up with what's basically it'll be a little bit modified, but sort of a regular just work week down there. Obviously, it'll be different because you don't have the Monday rehashing the previous week's game, and there'll be some changes to it all. They'll have to do media night on Monday night. Their time is from 7 to 8, so they'll have all day Monday to at least kind of get football work done before they then have to do kind of the craziness of media day, and then they'll have media obligations sort of mid-morning-ish, early afternoon-ish, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and then that's it. And then there'll be the game. They've cut down some of the stuff they used to do at the Super Bowl, so it's not necessarily quite as taxing on them. I mean, it'll still be taxing on them a little bit, especially for guys who aren't used to dealing with the media a lot. But it's not quite as bad as it had been in some years when guys were just available all the time.
That's interesting, because I remember in Phoenix, it was every day. I mean, every single day they had to talk.
Yeah. I mean, it's still, there's still some availability. Like I say, Monday to Thursday. So it's still 4 days a week. But I know on some days it's only going to be some guys. It's not going to be everybody. Okay. Macdonald will have to go every single day and things like that. So they do throw it on. But they don't do they used to do a Friday press conference with the coaches and things like that. They don't do that anymore. Okay. But yeah, so the plan I think was to get the basic game plan in this week. Then you go down there and sort of refine it. And I think that's pretty similar to how they did it under Pete Carroll in those years. I recall them being out on the field quite a bit during the week here. And then, hoping once they got down there, it was kind of more about staying fresh and refining. And by Thursday, they're probably really getting them off their feet too. Heavy practices they do down there, it'd probably be Monday to Wednesday.
Has Mike Macdonald, has he said anything about who he's leaning on to get ready for this? And I'm just trying to think of the coaches that are on his staff. Do any of them have Super Bowl experience? Like, who is he sought guidance from on how to handle next week?
Yeah, well, the one guy who's on the staff who's kind of been through everything is Leslie Frazier. I mean, he played in a Super Bowl. It was 40 years ago now, so who knows how relevant that is. But he's been around a lot. John Harbaugh obviously is a guy. Harbaugh won a Super Bowl before Macdonald got there, but they played in a lot of big time playoff games, and so I know John Harbaugh is one. And kind of anecdotally through that, Jim Harbaugh. I mean, he's got Jim Harbaugh's son on his staff, and Jay. Sure. So there's some people like that. You're right. There's not a lot of but I mean, there are a few guys on the staff, John Benton and Rick Dennison and guys like that have been in Super Bowls. Klint Kubiak, maybe easy to forget, but he was with the 49ers in 23 when they went to the Super Bowl. He was the quarterback's coach there. As Sam Darnold pointed out to everybody, he has been in a Super Bowl before, because he was on the roster for the 49er game for the 49ers 2 years ago. So, there's a few players, Cooper Kupp and Jake Peets, who was with the Rams, or Cooper Kupp was there, when they won the Super Bowl that year. So there are some people like that on staff, but I think one of the things Macdonald's learning a little bit too is he's kind of learned that he's got a system that works. And so I don't know that he's looking to necessarily take some advice from somebody and suddenly change everything they've been doing. I mean, obviously he's got them here. So, I think there's a little bit of that. That was always one of Pete Carroll's big things was, Pete Carroll felt like he'd kind of finally gotten his system right when he got here. He felt like his previous stops, he'd kind of been trying to copy what other people did or do what people thought he should do. And he was like, hey, if it's working, I'm not going to suddenly change it just because it's the Super Bowl. It's kind of, ultimately it's just another football game, and you kind of got to do the things that win you the football games all year.
Let's, before we get to the game, look back a little bit. Your favorite thing about Monday night at this media day spectacle? Does Bob Condotta, and folks, let me just take you inside what Bob normally does at these media days. He likes to really just kind of move himself up into the eyesight of anyone from Telemundo. Will you do that again, Bob? What are you looking forward to the most on Monday night?
Well, it's going to be different because the last two times the Seahawks were in the Super Bowl were the last two times they had the media day the old way, which was they did it on a Tuesday mid-morning afternoon kind of thing, and it was the following year they switched it to the Super Bowl Monday night thing, the Carolina Denver game. I'm pretty sure I'm right about that, so now they do it that way. So I haven't done one of these where it's at night, which is probably a little bit of a different vibe, and they've turned it into much more of sort of a spectacle for the NFL Network and things like that. Super Bowl Media Day obviously goes back to the beginnings of the thing when it was literally just, hey, everybody's available on this one day and come talk to them and stuff like that.
Why can't they just do it like back when Namath was sitting at the pool with a cocktail, and I think he might have had a cigarette. I don't know. Why can't we just do it? That just seems more fun.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it's just the way, all the sports is gone and all that. And again, you got the networks that really want to make a big deal out of it. So it's far more kind of a show businessy thing. So it will be interesting to see that way. It's kind of the old thing is you usually don't try to anticipate a ton of news being out of these things. And there'll be, it can often be one of those jarring things where you can try to sneak in a question about somebody's ankle injury, and then somebody asks the guy, who's your favorite actor of all time, and kind of thing.
It's not worth it to try to get any meaningful quotes out of these guys. I mean, and this is a group. I mean, it's refreshing away. It's not a boring group, but it's just not this. It's certainly not like the last group that went down there. That's going to give you these great, bombastic quotes and large personalities, which is fine. But it's a spectacle. Done it a couple times. I mean, it is fascinating to kind of watch and the people watching. All right, let's get to last week's game for a quick second. What, if anything, surprised you about Sam's performance?
I mean, I guess I hate to say this, just how flawless he was. It had to be a little bit of a surprise to everybody. He just did nothing wrong, really. He had a couple of passes here and there that weren't perfectly thrown. But, I mean, in general, he just made every play. And I guess, you still maybe just had to be sitting there like, especially with the injury, and he hadn't been practicing a ton, is some rust going to show at some point? When is going to maybe be that 3-play series where, it just looks really terrible, or, he just really makes a bad pass, has a turnover, whatever. But, I wasn't necessarily surprised by it. I mean, because we've seen Sam play really well at times this season. I think that's forgotten. And I think part of why there's such a narrative about Sam, obviously he had the number of turnovers he did this year, but I also think some of his better games were when people weren't paying attention to the Seahawks a whole lot. I think the real high profile games like the first game against the Rams and things like that just really stuck out to people. But, he's played really well in general this year, and, he's gotten them to where they have. But, that last drive, the last two drives really, or the last scoring, or not the last two drives, but the last scoring drive that they had when they took the 31-27 lead. And then the last drive after the 4th down stop, and to make the throws he did there, make the decisions he did there of who to go with the ball with, was exactly perfect. And those are not, even though those aren't, it's just like a 7-yard throw to Cooper Kupp, but still that ball's got to be right there. And if that play doesn't happen, they're punting the ball back to the Rams, and who knows what happens from that point. If Kupp doesn't make the catch anyway, they were going to go for it if Kupp was stopped. But
sure.
If it's 4th and 7, you're punting the ball there. So, just his, kind of the unflappability that I feel like we've seen that almost all year. But kind of that, along with just being so efficient, was by far, I thought, his best game of the season.
I mean, look at the last few games when it's been this. How is Sam Darnold, like the talk of Darnold, how is he going to respond to these big games? You go to the last game of the year against San Francisco, right? They need him. He's been in a similar position a year ago. They need him to play well enough and don't give up the game, right? That's always was the talk. Don't lose the game. He goes 20 of 26 in that game for nearly 200 yards, completion percentage of 77%. All right, so then he checks that off because he was in that same spot a year ago. Then he goes, then it's the box number 2, which is the divisional round game. They're the number 1 seed. They were like this last year. Look what happened. Or they were not like that last year, but they had a similar record and a lot of hype going into the playoffs about him. San Francisco, he doesn't have to do much, but again, 12 of 17, completes 70% of his passes. Again, as you steal your word, flawless, and then the championship game. I mean, I think we all agree. I think everyone's agreed all week long, and they won the game because of him. I mean, he doesn't play that way. They don't win. So there is always going to be another question. It's already started this week. Well, who do you trust more, Drake Maye or Sam Darnold? But I think for Sam Darnold, and I've been saying this all week long, Bob, I don't know if you agree or disagree with it. I think sometimes athletes, they play in a game like Sam played in last week where it truly was on him to win the game. I think sometimes when you break through in a performance like that, it can kind of free you up a little bit, and you can see guys even cut it more loose than they have before, because even though he may never verbalize maybe the pressure he was feeling, I mean, certainly it's got to be internal in there for him. It's in every athlete. And so I think maybe this has done that for him. I mean, we shall see in the Super Bowl next week, but again, I'll just steal your line. He has been flawless in the last 3 or 4 weeks of the season.
Yeah, and I think going through it for another time. I mean, I think having gone through what he did in Minnesota, and I think he never played in a playoff game before, the one he had last year in Minnesota. So going through that, then he did, he kind of saw it from afar with the 49ers the previous year, where he was Brock Purdy's backup, and they got to the Super Bowl. So he did kind of get that sense. So I think all those experiences, but it's not like he never played well in a big game relative to his career, right? I mean, he had the incredible Rose Bowl when he was at USC, but when he really got on everybody's radar and things like that, which at that time, and that time in your career, that's as big as it gets. So,
sure.
So I think small sample size for sure when it had come to Sam previously with big games, because he just hadn't had a lot of them. With the Jets, nothing was a big game, and with Carolina, nothing was a big game. So he finally had that situation last year, and I think people just overly wanted to keep jumping on it, because that's kind of what we do in sports media. You kind of try to create narratives and all that. But I don't really feel like there'd been that much this year. I mean, the first Rams game obviously was the one game you could point to and say they lost that game because of Sam,
right?
But he did almost bring him back to put him in position to win it as well. And so that did sort of show that. But, in general, again, you go back to, one of the games they lost, the Tampa Bay game, was a game similar to the other day where he, the defense kind of fell apart in that game for a rare time, and he played really well in that one. And, otherwise he'd usually done what it was needed to do to win the games this year. So, as Mike Macdonald gave that really kind of strong defense of him, some of this was probably either unfair or just sort of kind of being lazy in a way, just kind of, I did
it's low-hanging fruit. It's low-hanging fruit.
Yeah. I mean, I did all kind of interviews last week where people were like, well, I'm picking the Rams because of Sam Darnold. And I was like, I mean, I guess, but, I think that kind of belies a little bit. I get if you did the box check, you picked Matthew Stafford ahead of Sam Darnold, no question about it, for what he's done in his career. And Stafford played unbelievably the other night too. But I just think where Darnold fits into the overall thing, I think that was a little bit too easy of a justification to just say they're going to lose because of Sam Darnold.
Is he gonna lose his offensive coordinator? You think this is the last game he has with his OC?
It's certainly kind of looking that way. Yeah. I mean, when one of the other contenders, when they pull out, guys usually don't voluntarily pull out of potential head coach openings. I know people are like, well, it's the Raiders. He doesn't. And speaking of Davis Webb, who pulled out of it, guys don't usually do that. They usually do it because they don't think they're going to get the job, and so that's what you're allowed to do, is publicly say you're pulling out of it. So that seems to really indicate that it's, as everybody was kind of saying, it sounds like it's Kubiak's to lose, and if they've gotten to this point, usually, I mean, things can go haywire for sure, but if it gets to this point, there's only one or two guys left they're talking to. Obviously, you've got a real good shot to get it. And at this point, I think the idea that Kubiak maybe doesn't want to move yet, I don't think it would get this far if he wasn't seriously interested in becoming a head coach. It's far easier to cut it off way earlier than this if you just want to stay. I know he's moved around a lot. This is his fifth stop in 5 years here in Seattle, and so there was sort of he's talked about that publicly a few times, about moving around, but becoming an NFL head coach is life-changing, both financially and in terms of your career.
Especially if that's the dream that you've always had, regardless of what the team is. I've made this argument this week that, hey, would he look about taking a Ben Johnson approach? And whatever Ben Johnson's approach was it just to ride one more year with the Lions, or was it, did he not like what was out there for him? I think for Klint Kubiak, does he look at a situation right now knowing I've got an established quarterback, I've got a good offense, I've got a good team around me, we could be back in this situation next season, and I don't know what openings come up next year that are better than what there is right now. I mean, Arizona doesn't look like I know it's a job, but it doesn't look great. The Raiders, I guess, look more appealing because I guess it'd be Tom Brady, to work with Tom Brady, but then the other side of me to be like, yeah, but then you got Tom Brady like overseeing me and second guessing me. You're probably going to have
Fernando Mendoza to work with as a quarterback. And
true.
So you're an offensive.
But what if he doesn't like Francisco Mendoza?
Well, I can't. Well, that would probably be above him.
Well, I know, but maybe I'm just saying. What if personally he's like?
Oh well, what I know of Mendoza, you watch the interviews. He seems like a pretty hard guy to not like. It seems like that's one of those.
I'm just saying as a player. I'm just saying as a player, as a quarterback.
Yeah, for sure. But it's at least an intriguing thing. Arizona, who knows what they're going to do at quarterback, right. and maybe somebody maybe Mendoza falls to them. It doesn't sound like he would, but
yeah.
But
you're right, because but there's no given. There's no given next. They could fall. The Seahawks could fall off next year. An injury could happen, and all of a sudden you go from being this hot commodity as a coordinator to well, maybe we don't take him. Maybe he's not the guy, and now you've missed your opportunity, at least in the immediate, for a head coaching job.
Yeah, Jonathan Gannon got the Arizona job because he was a defensive coordinator with the Eagles at that time, and if he. Would Jonathan Gannon ever get a head coaching job otherwise, kind of thing? I mean, maybe not. And that's true of, there's all kind of coordinators that's true of. You're right. The Ben Johnson thing, I think I think part of Ben Johnson was, I think he felt so confident the Lions were still going to be good.
Right.
Logically, I'm not going to hurt my stock. Kubiak, I don't think the Seahawks are going to fall off the cliff here, but you do just never know from year to year. And, if your quarterback gets hurt or whatever, there's always things that can happen. And, to me, I think the Brady thing for him would be, I think it would be tantalizing. I mean, hey, Tom Brady, we should, that alone, I know the Raiders have not been good for a long time, and they're not what we remember as kids, but I still think that name means something. I think that brand sort of means something. I think it means far more than the Arizona Cardinals brand does. I think being in Vegas, I think the ability to lure free agents. I know there's always been the debate of Mark Davis and his finances and how much, they're willing to pay and things like that. But, just kind of organizationally as a whole. But I think if there's ever a time for them to do that with Brady's involvement, kind of Vegas, you kind of sell it starting over. I think they would be attractive to some free agents. And so I think if you're kind of a young head coach there, and if you really feel like I've got 3 or 4 years, to make this work. Good jobs don't come open, right? The Seattle Seahawks job's not coming over next year. You're not taking over as a first-time head coach, rarely, with that good of a team. And Mike Macdonald, one of the smartest things he did was he took over what was not a bad team. He took over a team that went 9-8. He wasn't taking over a team that went 3-14. But that's not often, you really get Buffalo was open this year, so there are times that happens, obviously, in the NFL. But a lot of times, especially if you're a first-time head coach like that, you probably have some slightly slimmer pickings.
Folks, that's why he gets the last word with us every single Friday. Bob Condotta, Seattle Times. Go read his work there, seattletimes.com. Get yourself a hard copy if you can. It's all brought to you by Georgetown Brewery. We will talk next week amidst the craziness of Super Bowl week. Safe travels down to Santa Clara, and we'll talk next week, Bob.
Yep. Okay. Thanks a lot, Jason.
Again, big thanks to Bob Condotta as he joins us every single Friday for the last word, brought to you by Georgetown Brewery. And again, as I always mention with Georgetown, first of all, that's the greatest brewery that's ever been invented. They're huge Seahawks fans. They're huge friends of the mastermind, too, of the Seattle Seahawks, John Schneider. Okay. He loves their beer. Many times that man has been back in the midst of that dark hallways of that brewery. Go support Georgetown Brewery. It is local, great. This is the greatest beer in all of the land. Pick up, they got growlers. They'll be open all week, every single day, 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. Sunday, I'll be on. You know what? I'll text those guys. I'm going to assume on Sunday they're probably not going to be open, so everyone can watch the game. So get your beer in. Don't wait till Sunday morning. They'll probably be open limited hours Sunday, is my guess. But get your beer before the game coming up next week. Big thanks to Bob for joining us, as he always does every single Friday. All right, we got Hey What the Puck to wrap up. We do have an answer from Hugh Millen on our double minus for Drake Maye. Should I save it for Monday? Yeah, I'm going to save it for Monday when Jim is back, because he needs to be a part of this in our discussion about Drake Maye being married to his middle school girlfriend. All right. We got Hey What the Puck, but first, on this day. And on this day is brought to you by Hive Social. Hive Social is your number one meetup app. It's the social meetup app here for PuckSports. It's HYV Social. Download it from your iOS or Google Play Store. It is free. You can invite friends. You follow Seahawks fans. You can join other fans of PuckSports. They're on Hive Social. Again, that's HYV Social. Just think of it as you got kids, right? You're an adult. It's kind of like LinkedIn. Kids, kind of like Snapchat, kind of a combo of those two. No algorithms, no commercials, no ads, none of that. They're on Hive Social. Created by a Coug. So you know it's great, because that's all we do is create great things at Washington State. Download it today. Great place to find out maybe where everyone's watching the game next week, what parties, what certain bars are open, everything. If you don't want to watch it by yourself, go watch it with a group of friends. And the best way to do that is to download Hive Social from the iOS and Google Play Store. That's HYV Social, the official social meetup app for PuckSports. All right, on this day, January 30th, 1994, speaking of Super Bowls, the Dallas Cowboys continue the misery of the Buffalo Bills. They hammer the Bills in the Super Bowl 30-13. They leave no question who the best team in football is that year. Also in the 2000 Super Bowl, probably one of the greatest stories that we've seen maybe forever in Super Bowl history. The St. Louis Rams complete just one of the greatest storybook seasons ever. Hell, they made a movie out of it with Kurt Warner coming out of working at a grocery store, backing up Trent Green. He goes down the preseason with an injury. Warner takes over, and they just take off. 23-16 over Steve McNair. God, I love Steve McNair. And the Tennessee Titans. God, Steve McNair was so good. So good. They could just call, they fall, about a yard short from from what potentially would be the tying touchdown. Music and entertainment. You got to trust Puck on this one. Trust me when I say this. 2013, a TV show called The Americans premiered on FX. If you have never seen this show, Kerry Russell is the one of the lead characters. Go binge it this weekend, binge it all next week. You will not be disappointed. One of the greatest TV shows ever created. The Americans, premiering on this date back in 2013. If you watch it, you will not be disappointed. Happy birthday going out to Gene Hackman, would have been 96 today. Tragically passed away last year. So many great movies: French Connection, Unforgiven, Poseidon Adventure, Night Moves, Crimson Tide, and of course, my favorite movie ever, Hoosiers. Phil Collins, 75 today. Of course, started the legendary band Genesis. PGA golfer and analyst Curtis Strange is 71. The late, great Payne Stewart, and that hat, the outfit, all of it, would have been 69 today. He tragically passed away back in 1999 in a plane crash. And actor Christian Bale, 52 today. All of that on this day, January 30th, all brought to you by Hive Social. That's, again, Hive Social, HYV Social. Download it to your iOS or Google Play Store. Hey, What the Puck brought to you by Restoration One of North Seattle. Your restoration company will let you avoid the stress of water, fire, and mold damage with their property restoration services. Reach out to them, restoration1.com, North Seattle franchise. I know the poll and desire for Klint Kubiak would be to take a job, whether it's the Cardinals or it looks like it's going to be the Raiders job. I get it. To be a head coach in this league, there's only 32 opportunities. They don't come around too often. But I would take a hard look at your current boss right now and Mike Macdonald, and situations and the type of situations you walk into, they mean a lot. And Mike Macdonald is a very good head coach, obviously, but he walked into a pretty good situation. It was there wasn't a rebuild. There was a lot of parts here for Mike Macdonald to take over. If you're Klint Kubiak and you walk into a situation like Arizona, where are the building blocks? None. It's a bad ownership group. It's a bad roster. You look at the Raiders, you can say, well, it's got Tom Brady. He's a minority owner, but historically, since Mark Davis has taken over, it's been a bad ownership group. Are they willing to spend money? Some would say it's a benefit to have Tom Brady in your ear. I don't know. Not to say that he obviously knows football, but I don't know about the pressure of having him in your ear and him dictating what you should be doing. Is he going to be a hands-off owner? I think that's important. I think for Klint Kubiak, he's got to be careful of what job he takes, and just don't take a job because it's a job. They're going to be a good team next year. They're going to be a good offense next year. The shine on Klint Kubiak is not going to go away. And there will be opportunities potentially better next year, Cincinnati, if they move on from Zach Taylor, to walk into a situation like Joe Burrow. But now with that comes ownership issue there with Cincinnati. But he's moved his family around a lot. I think we can take Arizona off the books. It seems like it's the Raiders, the number one team. Maybe he loves Mendoza, and they know they're going to take him, so it'd be great to work with him. But again, you're working with a rookie quarterback. How many years do you get? Sometimes those guys don't click right away. It takes 2-3 years. Does he get 3 years to be the head coach to make it work out? It's a big decision for Klint Kubiak. And just because you want to be a head coach doesn't need to be next year. It can be in another year or 2 years down the road. All right, that's Hey What the Puck, brought to you by restoration1.com, the North Seattle franchise. Go visit their website, restoration1.com. Big thanks, everybody watching and listening today. Thank you to all our sponsors, Limbeck Lumber, also Restoration One, Georgetown Brewery, Flat Stick Pub, Hive Social. Thank you to all gym sponsors on a Friday, Clean Streak, Brotherton Cadillac, and the Angry Beaver. You can find today's Daily Puck Drop up on YouTube. Please subscribe to the channel. Hit that like button. You may watch it, but don't hit that subscribe button. Hit that subscribe button. Nothing bad's going to happen. Don't worry about it. Leave a comment. We try to get to as many as I can. Also find the Daily Puck Drop on your favorite podcast platforms. Apple, Spotify, does not matter. And you can find everything up at PuckSports.com, including a link to sign up to become a Puck's Posse member. You support everything we do, free daily, plus we give you bonus shows throughout the week. We got 3 bonus shows this week. Tuesdays with Matt Stretch Johnson. Wednesdays, Inside Pitch with Ryan Divish. And yesterday, KJ Arntz with Mitch Levy. Go check it out. And of course, we produce Graz with the Gas Take 5 podcast that comes out on Mondays. Find it on YouTube and all podcast platforms. All right, that's it for us this week. Everybody enjoy your weekend. We ramp it up next week. Monday, we'll start it. Seahawks, Patriots, Super Bowl, just wall-to-wall coverage starting all next week. We got a few surprises for you as well. We're really looking forward to it, adding a couple of guests next week. Enjoy the weekend. We'll see you Monday. As always, promise to be better.
No shoes, no ties.
Anybody like to smoke some pot?
Yeah. I was born to love. I was born to lick your face. I was born to rub you, but you were born to rub me first.
What do you need my address for? We like to send out a mailer.
Mother of mercy, I don't speak Japanese!